This might sound weird, but the more you try to be good enough, the more you probably feel like you're not. You're constantly striving, constantly pushing, but also always feeling like you're falling short. But what if I told you that that feeling of inadequacy is actually proof that you're growing at an incredibly fast rate? Hi, I'm Jamie Knapp, and welcome to Inner Strength for Parents, where we use mindset to help you thrive as a person and empower your kids to do the same. Today, I'm going to be talking about that nagging feeling of not good enough that everyone feels. I'm going to be explaining to you why it actually happens and how you can fix it. Every single thing you do as a person or as a parent is probably something that you aren't really qualified to do. Let me explain. When you go through life, and especially parenthood, every new step brings things you've never done before. So are you qualified to do this thing you've never done before? Of course you're not. Is it going to be messy? Absolutely. Are you going to make mistakes? You could bet on it. The problem with that is that your brain looks at the evidence. It looks at the messiness, the mistakes, the places you fall short, and says, wow, look at you. You are not enough. Here's where you wanted to be. Here's the level, and here's where you ended up. So it looks at every single time you try one of those things and you fall short a lot of the times. It logs every single one of those as a failure. So if you're a new mom and your baby doesn't sleep, your brain says to you, yep, it's because you don't know what you're doing. You must not be enough. And then as that baby grows older and starts throwing tantrums and you lose your cool because, well, you're human, then your brain says, wow, you are not a patient parent. And that means you are not good enough, because if you're not patient, you're gonna ruin your kids. And as they grow older, your house gets messy because life is happening and chaos is in full throttle. And your brain says, wow, you are lazy. Look at this mess. You are not enough. And as your kids grow into teens, they start making their own choices, bless that agency. And your brain says, oh my goodness, I failed. It's because I'm not enough. Now, are all of these thoughts conscious? Oftentimes they're not, but they're those nagging thoughts in the back of your head. And what your brain does is it logs all of these data points and it says, wow, look at all this evidence. You are failing over and over again. You are not enough. And so then when you go to look at obstacles that are before you in your life and you go to do the next hard thing, your brain says, oh, wow, I don't know if I want to do that because I'm just not enough. And so you start to feel less motivated because you just feel like it's going to turn out messy again. Now, like I said, all of that ends up below the surface, but what I want to show to you is that what your brain is doing can be switched to your advantage. Let me show you how. Right now, your brain is logging all of these data points as evidence that you're a failure. But what you can do instead is you can show your brain that these data points are actually evidence of something else. Yes, you had a baby that didn't sleep. Yes, you had a toddler that threw tantrums. Yes, your house was a mess. And yes, your teen made poor choices. But actually, if you log those data points, you can show your brain these are all times when I grew. These are all times when I became stronger, smarter, and that means I'm enough. Now, how does that happen? Well, when you have a hard moment, that hard moment, just by you showing up and surviving, leads to you being stronger. But I know what you're saying. Well, what if you do it wrong? Imperfect practice does not make you stronger. Let me explain. Think about going to the gym. You can go to the gym and do some really sloppy push-ups and still get stronger as long as you show up. Now, will you grow at an even faster rate if you work on technique and you ask for help and you try to do it better? Of course you will. That's why I teach Inner Strength every week. We talk about techniques to help ourselves improve and thrive as people so that we can take it to the next level and have more joy in our lives and empower our kids to do the same. So yes, absolutely. And if you just show up, are you also going to eventually get stronger? Sure. So it's time to show your brain, hey, look, brain, I may not have it all put together, but every day I show up, every day I try, Every time I even mess up, I am actually getting stronger and smarter. So brain, you know those sleepless nights where my baby cried all night? I gained endurance and love. I learned to love my baby in a way I wouldn't have otherwise because of what I sacrificed for them. You know, when my toddler threw those tantrums and I lost my cool, you know what? I still showed up and was a parent the next day. I developed patience and understanding, and I understand things now that I didn't before. And as my team made their choices that maybe I didn't love, I learned wisdom and forgiveness that I did not have before. So yes, brain, are there a lot of things in my life that I maybe don't love? Sure. But every single one of those is actually evidence that I am growing and I am becoming more wise and more patient and more of the person I want to be. And as you reframe that for your brain and you start to see the experiences in your life as learning opportunities, as opportunities for growth, as chances for you to understand the world in a way you didn't before, then your brain will stop logging it as not enough and start logging it as opportunities to grow. And that one feels a lot better. Now, if you're interested in taking the fast track and learning techniques, especially mindset techniques, but also practical ones that will help you thrive as a person and empower your kids to do the same, right now for the month of July, Inner Strength is actually 30% off when you use the code FREEDOM. So if you go to innerstrength.me/transform, you can join us in Inner Strength. We meet every week. You can also check out the recordings in your online vault and use the code FREEDOM to get 30% off. Now, I don't like it when I don't get a good deal. So as long as you're a member, your price will never go up. You will be able to keep that discount. So what is Inner Strength? Inner Strength is when we meet every week and we talk about the things that will actually make the difference. For years, I thought if I just try harder, if I just push harder, I can be the parent I really want to be. But no matter how hard I tried, I always felt not enough until I realized that the root of the problem was below the surface. I was trying to change my behavior. I was trying to be more patient. I was trying to say the right words. And there are merit to all of those things. Yes, please learn parenting. Please learn how to be patient and how to have good conversations. All of those things are so good. But what I didn't realize is that the reason I wasn't being patient, the reason I was losing my cool is because there was so much going on inside of me already that I was already maxed out. And so when little things happened, it was so much easier for me to react or to snap or to say something to my kids that I later regretted, or to my spouse, because I was already at a breaking point. But when I learned techniques that helped me get myself in a place where I felt inner peace and where I felt inner confidence and where I felt like I was moving forward, then those little things that pop up in every day, they didn't faze me. And I was able to keep going and be the mom I wanted to be. And it was so much easier. Instead of trying to make myself be kind, it just came naturally because I felt great inside. And then as I learned those techniques, I was able to share them with my kids and help them to do the same so that they lost their cool less often too. And it was empowering for us all. So if that is your type of thing, if you love learning how to improve yourself and actually finding the techniques that will work and make it so much easier, then do check it out. Go to innerstrength.me/transform and make sure you use that code FREEDOM. Once again, it's 30% off for the month of July. So don't miss out on that. So if your brain likes to tell you that you are not enough, know that you are not alone. It's a very human experience. Everyone has had that thought in their mind. But first of all, know that it is a lie. You are enough and you are doing wonderful things. You just have to retrain your brain to see those hard things, to see those times that you stumble, to see those times you mess up as opportunities for growth instead of evidence that you're not enough. So as you see those and you catch those thoughts in your mind, just remind yourself, every day I get stronger, every day I get smarter. I may not have it all figured out, but I am getting better every day. And that will help your brain to be kinder to yourself. And when you're in that place where you are kinder to yourself, you'll feel less stress and you'll be more likely to perform in the way you want to anyway. If one of those reasons you feel like you lose your cool is because you just get overstimulated and there's so much going on, I will link a video. I do have a video on overstimulation as a mom and what to do about that could be helpful. I will link it at the end of this video. And until then, be sure to subscribe so you catch the next video, and I will see you next time.